Hello and welcome. I'm Shelley and today I'll be talking to you about the Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign. So a little about me to start off with. I'm a designer and illustrator currently undertaking my final year of my Bachelor of Design, majoring in communication. My specialties are branding, illustration and merchandise design. On that note, let's begin on the Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign. First, we'll be delving into what Swinburne Mental Health Week is and some information behind it. So a bit about the sponsor. Swinburne University of Technology is based in Melbourne, Victoria. They're a world-leading university with a focus on research, innovation and creating future-ready graduates. Swinburne Mental Health Week is an annual event that Swinburne holds to address the mental health needs of their students and faculty. So now let's talk about the problem. Students are suffering mental health issues at staggering rates. 54% of students in a study by the NUS said that they did not seek support for their mental health. Depression and anxiety were the main contributors of mental illness in students. So now let's talk a little bit about the campaign. The focus of this campaign is to promote Swinburne Mental Health Week. The problem is that mental health issues are on the rise with young adults and tertiary students. The audience is current Swinburne students and faculty. The goal of this campaign is to promote good mental health within the Swinburne community. To do this, the campaign must promote good mental health, promote Swinburne support services, resonate with the audience and address their mental health issues and concerns, and also to guide users to the event day's media touchpoints. Now, we'll delve into who we're doing this for. There was a very high prevalence of anxiety and depression in university students. In 2007, the prevalence of anxiety and depression was at 15.6% for undergraduates and 13% for graduates. It was found that the main contributing factors that led to students suffering from anxiety and depression were: students are usually at a critical transition period from the ages of 17 to 25. They can feel isolated as this is usually their first time living out of home. Loneliness and isolation is an issue for many students. Students are under financial pressure and distress, they're under academic pressure, and they have a poor work-life study balance. 7 personas were created based off information collated on Swinburne students from the Swinburne Annual Report. This is Alexandra, she's 20, and her archetype is the perfectionist. Her current mental health struggles is that she's a perfectionist and struggles with relaxing and letting herself take a break. She's struggled with anxiety for a long time. This is Jacob, he's 23 and his archetype is the overburdened. Jacob is currently struggling to keep up with all of his commitments and feels like he has little to no time to himself. This is Zane, he's 28 and his archetype is the struggling. Zane is going through a hard time right now and is feeling anxious. He feels that everything is too much at the moment and he's been having panic attacks. This is Adira. She's 38 and her archetype is the career switcher. Adira's been feeling overwhelmed with juggling family, work and study commitments. She's been feeling stressed lately. This is Ronnie. He's 28 and his archetype is the new identity. Ronnie is a new member of the LGBTQI+ community. He's feeling a little lost at the moment and he's trying to figure out his new identity. This is Caitlin. She's 19 and her archetype is the potential neurodivergent. Caitlin suspects that she may have ADHD and has been feeling anxious about her schoolwork. She's been handing everything in on time and is keeping up, but it's been difficult for her and it's affecting her mental health. This is Amelia. She's 24 and her archetype is the international student. Amelia is struggling with homesickness and is missing her family, and it's affecting her mental health. Now we'll be moving on to the why, where we'll be looking at benchmarking, best practice, and positioning. These campaigns will be used to benchmark the Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign. The first campaign we'll be looking at is the How's Your Head Today campaign. It is a government mental health campaign launched in November of 2020 in response to the COVID-19 mental health crisis. The strengths is that it's well-resourced, there are many different applications to reach a wide audience, and it's well designed. The use of characters makes the campaign more personable and helps reduce stigma. The second campaign we'll be looking at is called Head Coach. It was rolled out by Headspace to highlight the importance of mental health with young people. The aim was to get young men to prioritize their mental health as much as their physical health. The strengths of this campaign is that they use professional athletes as role models to encourage young men to reach out for help. There were further resources for users, and they prompted users to create a Headspace account when looking at further resources, which will increase the likelihood of users getting help. The third campaign is the Elephant in the Room. It was rolled out by the Australian Private Hospitals Association for their Mental Health Week from the 9th to the 16th of October 2021. The strengths are that the square tiles are an easy way to share to social media, and it approaches mental illness in a compassionate way. The next campaign is the You Can Talk campaign by Life in Mind, a suicide prevention organisation. The strengths is that it's aimed at everyday Australians to help them realise that they don't need to be a mental health professional to initiate a conversation. It's easily accessible, it uses well-known Australians as ambassadors to reduce stigma, and it has access to further resources that are easily accessible. The fifth campaign is It's Time to Talk About Mental Health. It's a campaign by the Victorian Government rolled out in March 2021. The strengths is that it's aimed at everyday Victorians and it features stories on a wide variety of people. The sixth campaign is Pause, Call, Be Heard. It's a collaborative campaign from Lifeline and TrackSafe Foundation. It was targeted towards trained commuters with the aim to get them to call Lifeline if they needed help. The strengths is that it was able to reach a wide audience, there was a clear call to action, it was appealing to a wide range of people, and there was clear messaging. The final campaign we'll be looking at is RMIT Together. It's a campaign by RMIT for students to stay connected and look after their mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic. The strength is that it has both preventative and supportive services for students, and it has a strong community behind the campaign. Now, we'll be looking at the positioning maps and where the Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign will sit in relation to the campaigns that we've just benchmarked. In this map, there's many campaigns designed for adults, so there's a gap here for young adults. The Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign will fill a gap as there's not many institutions that engage with the mental health of their students and employees. As we can see on this map, there are very few campaigns that require high involvement or participation from the target audience. Only 2 of these campaigns were focused on support. Most of them were focused on promoting awareness. The Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign will be focusing on both awareness and support equally. From this map, we can see that half of these campaigns were innovative, using new concepts, ideas, and technologies to push their message forward. Most of these campaigns were low engagement, requiring little participation from their audiences. The Swinburne Mental Health Week campaign will be innovative and high engagement, filling a gap. Now we'll be talking about the solution. The campaign will help students build strategies to combat anxiety and depression and give them a safe space to talk about their experiences and what they're going through. Studies show that mindfulness and self-care are effective ways of combating depression and anxiety, and they're also effective preventative measures. 3 directions have been explored for the campaign, all grounded in mindfulness and self-care and the needs of the Swinburne students. The first brainstorm was created to explore the needs of Swinburne students. The second brainstorm was to test ideas and figure out what activities would be good for the students during Swinburne Mental Health Week. Brainstorms were then used to explore the 3 concepts and their messaging. Visuals were then explored for each concept. Now we'll look at the proposed concepts for the campaign. The first concept is Make Time for Your Mind. There will be a giant cozy tent filled with couches, faux fur rugs and blankets, mood lighting, and hot beverages will be served. We'll be using cozy visuals to communicate the message, including an earthy colour palette and handwritten calligraphic type to convey a friendly, kind, and warm tone. The second concept is called Plant Your Dreams. Students will attend a planning workshop in the morning. They'll then choose their biggest hope for the future, and then they'll go into nature and plant it with a seedling of their choosing in the afternoon. A flat illustration style with bright autumn colours will convey an inviting tone. A thick, round serif type will convey friendliness. A novelty cloud-like type will be used for the word dream to enhance the concept and create a hopeful, dreamy tone. The third concept is Escape to Nature. There will be 3 themed tents based on naturescapes. The visual style is based on old travel posters to convey the word escape. A script and serif type combination will convey a welcome feeling, and an earthy colour palette will be used to create a relaxed feeling and enhance the natural elements of the campaign.